Hey guys. Oh, sorry. Hey guys. Sorry. Hey guys. Hey, welcome to Total Schmidt Show. It's Tuesday night, 6 o'clock. I travel. I talk to people. You know the drill. If you tune in, you don't. If you don't know the drill, you will in a second. Today's Johnnie Cardinale. Is that right?
It's Johnnie Cardinale.
Johnnie Cardinale. We're working together on a ship here right just before Christmas. So buckle up. Hey, welcome to Total Schmidt Show. How you doing? I'm back at sea. Here's what you're going to get from the show. It's kind of like quarantine comedy, except I'm not going to be home. Actually, it's kind of like quarantine comedy and a combination of all the stuff I've done online over the last year or so. There's sketch stuff, live stuff, stand-up stuff, travel stuff, and of course, conversations with others who do the same things that I do on a daily basis. That's it. That's the whole show. And I'm going to record it all and put it on the intraweb. Sometimes. Usually late. Always late. Maybe. I don't know. And weekly? Maybe. Sort of. Could be. Either way, sit back. I hope you enjoy whatever the hell it is I put together for this week on Total Schmidt Show. Hey guys, welcome to the Total Schmidt Show. It is Tuesday at 6. If you've watched the show before, I've done it a lot. This is number 23. It's an extension of quarantine comedy where I did 188 of those. And 100 quarantine comedy, of course, is when I was locked in my basement. And this is now when I'm traveling. Hey, look, the sound's working. Everything's working fine. Do me a favor, man. First of all, follow the socials. They'll be right here after I edit the video. And then also, please like the video. It helps me immensely. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Lenny Schmidt Comedy Network. It costs you absolutely nothing to do that. And the numbers help me immensely. So please just click subscribe, and that way I get lots of followers. And someday I'll be, a YouTuber, I guess. I don't know, whatever. But do all those things for me. Sit back, enjoy the show. Also, there'll be tickers you can watch throughout the show. One will explain financial and support for the show. The other one will give you all the socials. And that's pretty much it, man. That's what I got. And my guest today is my good friend, Johnnie Cardinale. And I just said his name right. I know he said it right. There we go. And we're in. Yeah, you can talk to me, and we can talk to. I don't care if you look at the camera. I don't care what you look at.
Oh, nice. I'd like to look at you right in the eyes.
Well, I'm not going to look at you then. I'm going to look over here. What's up, brother?
So you did 188 of these in your basement?
Yeah, well, it was my bedroom. So
okay, I was going to say they have basements in California?
No, there's no basement. But we had a one-bedroom apartment, because I traveled. I have 2 daughters.
Yeah. One
lived with me, and I was doing them in the dining room, and and it was literally me with them doing homework and stuff behind me, and I'm like, I got to move.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
So we got a bigger place, and we went across the street, and I did them in my bedroom. But yeah, it was cool during COVID because the same thing we're doing now. The software I use, I can send you a link if you're in Paris or New York or whatever, and just feed you right in. It's the same stuff they use on CNN and ESPN and all that other stuff.
No kidding.
So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
I was interviewing people all over the world. Sometimes we do these live, and sometimes I'll do these and feed people in. But yeah, there was 188 episodes of that, and then I constantly try to figure out how to do it when I traveled. Because we were talking about yesterday. The hardest thing about all this social media shit.
That's the hardest thing for me, man. I can't post a TikTok when I'm on ships.
Yeah,
it doesn't, for whatever.
Uploading. So it got to the point where if I had a port day, I had a list of shit to do. And I would sit in a restaurant and just check off, okay, uploaded, edited, uploaded, uploaded.
Oh, absolutely.
Edit it for a week on the ship, and then you get all these videos you got to upload. It's really hard. So it took me a while to figure out some of this juggling. And even now, you know what? I've accepted that sometimes I just can't get a video up.
That's how I am because I try to stay consistent. The one thing I try to stay consistent with is TikTok. I got started during the pandemic too. I was living in Ohio, and I would go down to my girlfriend who bought a place. She had a basement. So it was all empty and it was really nice. And I set up my own little studio there and just started doing videos and stuff. And, now I'm back in California without a basement. But it is amazing what you can do. I love basements. I just think I wish they had them. There's something creative about being underground. But yeah.
Like Batman?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, being consistent when you're traveling is really tough.
Yeah, especially on the shifts. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, you have a pretty impressive setup here. I was surprised when I walked in. And I wasn't sure if this was going to be on camera or just audio.
Oh, I should have told you.
I would have dialed myself up a little bit more.
But. Oh, shit, that's my camera. What the hell? I always have a issue, especially with some of the ladies. I had a couple singers come into the show once, and she's like, a baseball hat, and I go, "This is video." She's like, "What the fuck?"
Exactly.
And then
gotta let them know.
3 hours later, you're like,
exactly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's video. So, but yeah, I'm also trying to. Glenn's real good at this. I had Glenn on the show last year,
Glenn Foster.
Yeah, the magician who's on the ship.
Just
right
met
now.
him. Just met him on the ship.
Yeah, he's always giving me tips and advice for different condensing shit to carry. Like I carry 4 cameras with me and mini tripods and stuff, but he's always like, there's a smaller tripod, there's a smaller mic, there's a smaller this, there's a smaller
I was going to
that.
say, I'm not super up on that, but even when I walked in, I was like, this is a pretty nice thing, but I feel like there's even smaller, more compact things these days.
I'm gonna try and. There's some stuff I like to do. Like I like to have the 2 X1s. I also like to have, or the V1s, ZV1s. I also like to have all the cameras because what I'm trying to do is do stuff in ports. And if I come up with an idea of a shoot or a video, I want to make sure I have cameras and I can do a lot of it.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff I could get done better. And there's nobody better to talk about this condensing than a magician.
Yeah. I met Glenn. I've worked with some of his clients, and him and I are Facebook friends. And then I was just walking up the stairs. He goes, "Hey, how was your show?" And I go, "Hey, I'm Johnny." He goes, "Glenn." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I know who you are." He happened to see me turning in my receipts or something like that. And he didn't say hi then. So anyhow, we just ended up talking, and he's a very intelligent guy.
Dude, he's really smart. He knows everybody also. He's been doing this a long time.
Long time. We talked a little bit about that, and he's because he's an agent now, and he goes, dude.
Yeah.
He told me how much he spends on Wi-Fi for the ship, on a ship, because he's got to send so many emails for contracts for his people and whatnot.
Oh, he's got that too. My guy Steve Smith. We were talking about them earlier before. He's one of the guys at Artist West.
I know both Steve and Ron. Peripherally, we
Right.
exchange emails and stuff.
Yeah. I've known Ron for 25, 30 years. When he used to
wow.
run CL stuff, and I used to work up there. But Steve does the same thing. Steve, when he's on I don't think he does ships anymore much, but when he does, he immediately gets the best Wi-Fi because he's constantly on
business,
it. Yeah. You just gotta. I mean, you write it off. You got to do it.
Yeah.
It's crazy expensive. So
It's wild that you're on ships performing, and you're also an agent booking others all over the.
right.
That's when I was talking to Glenn.
Yeah.
Just 2 days ago, I go, wow, that just sounds so intense.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, yeah.
Yes.
It was interesting talking to him, though, because, you saw part of my act, but I'm trying to put it together sort of a theater act specific, become what he does.
Dude, you could totally do a main stage act with all the music and stuff you got.
That's why tonight when we do our theater act, I'm taping my sets tonight.
Really?
Specifically for that purpose. So
right on.
Talking to him a little bit about it. And then just getting his advice on, what they look for to a degree. And then I watched his act last night.
Oh, good. Did you see the whole show?
I saw the whole show.
He's really good he does a really great job, man.
It's
message thing
spot on.
Puts a lot of work on it, man.
Yeah. And he was telling me, he goes, I used a lot of multimedia.
Yeah.
And I saw one of his clients, some guy named Rory out of Canada. Oh, a few months ago, I was on a ship, and him and I just got to talk, and he goes, I'm a theater. Oh, really? And he plays guitar. And I wanted to see, is there anything? Do we step on each other's toes at all? And we do completely different things. I was talking to Glenn about it last night, actually. I didn't even know he was Glenn's client until 2 days ago. And then I watched his act, and he had a lot of multimedia. And it was a lot of it was just his TikTok videos, show, a 20-second video, and then talk about it. And I go, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, the way that Glenn does
ideas.
that, Glenn and I were talking about the other day. I'm thinking about putting together a main stage act using multimedia facet stuff.
Absolutely.
But part of me too is also like, I don't know if I want to put the time into it, dude, because I'm spending a lot of time trying to build YouTube and social media. And as it is now, sometimes I'm working all day and I'm like, this is crazy. It's just insane.
That's the thing. Where do you focus? The thing I'm sort of lucky with, I have the act. All I got to do is assemble it and record it, get the demo in. I have the material. The hard part is over. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, in fact, I don't know if I told you, but I recorded because I just signed with a new agent and back in April, and I told her specifically that's what I want to do, and I taped in the theater, and I got a really nice tape. It was a good set. Wasn't a great set, but it was a good set to show what I do. And she goes, I like it, but she goes, you need to dress a little bit better. This just doesn't main stage look.
Right.
And I went back and looked at it, and I was like, I did look kind of sloppy. There was kind of older jeans and sneakers, and they weren't even like particularly nice sneakers. You know what I mean? And I remember thinking, I thought I looked so cool and hip, but that's like when you're in L.A. doing a bar show cool and hip, not when you're on the main stage of a theater hip. So I've kind of upped my dress a little bit, which actually feels better. I don't know. I wear like a vest and a tie now on stage, and it feels good. It kind of suits me.
Yeah, we're talking about it. I got to ask you really quick while we're doing this. I want to make sure I spelled your last name right because your credit is up here.
Oh, Cardinale.
Yeah, I nailed it. Look at me.
Cardinal like the bird.
I'm not even trying it. I got it.
Impressive.
Yeah, dude, you're the guy with the vest. I was out last night for a little bit. I went out for one drink. We texted a little bit last night. We were talking.
Yeah.
So I went out for one drink after my show, and they were. And sometimes they confuse the comics. It always cracks me up how they do that when they'll go.
No, isn't it amazing?
The bit you did about the cat. I go, I didn't do anything about cats. No, you did, and they argue with you. Yes, you did. No, it's not even. And then we talk about. I go, this is what I wear. I wear all black, pretty much. Yeah, you would. Oh, it's you. Oh, the vest guy. So you're the vest guy.
Yeah, it's kind of specific because I made a joke about it, and it was my blue vest. I swear to God, I ordered it on Amazon. They don't have a picture of a guy wearing it, just the vest.
Yeah.
I go, that looks sharp, and I put it on, and I go, oh my God, I look like a flight attendant. So I literally say that on stage just to get it out of the way.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I just go on with my. I don't address it again, but it's sort of the vest look. I just started buying these shirts from Zara. I'm not sponsored by them, but these nice dress shirts.
Yeah.
They're the best dress shirts I've ever worn.
Really?
I bought, they're $49.99, and I bought one just let's see, because it's kind of like silky material, more like rayon. I think I'm not used to wearing that. Put it on. I've bought I think 6 of them now, just because.
Can you get them fitted or?
Nope, they fit perfect, just right off the rack.
Do you know if they do athletic fit?
This is slim fit, I guess. So
yeah, I cannot, dude. Look at me.
I'm just saying. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what athletic.
I know what it means.
I'm just saying.
Lenny can't buy that shirt. Is what that means.
Okay, I'm just saying size. Like, I don't know how many sizes I have, but I talked to a couple of comedians I've seen on ships that I dress really nice.
Yeah.
This guy Ken Boyd. Do you know Ken Boyd?
I don't.
He dresses really sharp, like teal suits. You know what I mean, with the matching handkerchief.
Nice.
And he looks really sharp. And I asked him, "Where do you shop?" And he goes, "Zara." And I'd never even heard of it before. So I went there, and it's not super expensive. And I just been trying to work with my dress game a little bit better. And I found these pants. This online site. I found it on Instagram or something. I kept getting these ads for these pants. They're like dress pants, but like fit like sweats.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'll try it. It's probably a hoax because they don't have a brick and mortar store. Although I guess they have one in Chicago. I found out later. But I go, hopefully I can just return it. I tried them. I think they're $139, which I don't spend a lot of money on clothes.
Right.
Put them on. Immediately, the best pants I've ever worn.
Really?
I've bought 3 pairs
At
since.
Zara?
No, it's called Public Rec.
Okay.
And I'll tell you about it after this. But I'm telling you, it's the best pants I've ever worn.
I'm going to do that because I'm also I'm going to upgrade my wardrobe this week. Also, I dropped like 35 pounds this year. So
no way, really?
yes,
Nice.
Thanks, man. So but I got a target for like maybe another 10ish somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to buy anything new till I get closer to my target because I want to go with I might go with vests, but I know I'm going with for one. I got to get athletic fit shirts or fitted. I have a hard time with slim fits. Don't fit me. Regulars are too baggy and I look like a vagabond.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This specific shirt just happened to suit me perfect. Right. That's why I said I'm just going to wear these from now on.
Yeah.
And the vest thing is because honestly, I like the jacket look, but it's too hot on stage.
It's too much too.
I'm sweating.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm like, I move around a little bit, so
me too.
You know what I mean? So it's a little tough. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just feel a little bit more confined. You know what I mean?
Right.
I like the jacket look, but it just.
I'm yelling not because I'm bored of you.
Yeah, gotta say, by the way, I lost 80 pounds actually. It was in a casino. 80s. It was a casino in London. But hey, guys.
Hey.
All right, I haven't used that one on there.
I like it. You should keep that with your dad joke stuff.
That's right.
Before you change the subject, Zara, is it a brick and mortar or online?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. You live pretty close to me.
Yeah, I'm right by you.
Yeah, Glendale Galleria.
I'll go check it out. All right,
yeah, it's a really good store.
Nice, man. Cool. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but you mainly do a lot of music. So I saw you close each of your shows with music.
Nah, I've done 4 shows so far. I've only brought the guitar out once.
Okay.
So I just have a lot of it. I just don't. It's kind of what I came from a sketch comedy background.
Right.
It was me and it was a group of 13 of us. We used to write, direct, produce our own stuff, and I was sort of
a huge group for a sketch, man.
It was a huge group. And there were a lot of talented people, but I wrote a couple song parody things. They become some of our big stuff, so I became sort of the music guy.
Right.
And the director says, "Hey, I'd like you to write some more music stuff." So I started. And then 13 people, like you said, a lot of people. All of a sudden, one guy's doing drugs, the other one's banging the director. This one's, and it all fell apart. And
that's what happens with bands.
I was like by myself, going, "Oh my god!" I thought this group was. I thought we were gonna go. That was it. That's all I want to do is that group.
Right.
And I thought we were gonna be like SNL or something like that, get our own show, and then it all fell apart. So I'm like, well, let me just go to stand up, and I had all these song parodies, and it just kind of opened a lot of doors for me. But then I had to scale back, and not scale back, but I was brand new to stand up, and I'm all of a sudden like I want to do stand up without the guitar too, So it took me a long time to sort of overcome and get good without it and get comfortable without it. And now it's really nice because, like I said, when we're doing all these different shows, it's nice to have, it's just nice to be like, it's nice when I do comedy and then I bring it out like a little bit at the end. They're like, oh my God, he does this too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
I like how you put the guitar behind the curtain.
yeah,
You know
that
what I
way
mean?
nobody's noticing
Right.
it and thinking about it. When's he going to get it? Blah,
Right.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, a lot of guys just leave it sitting out there.
Yeah.
But I also like the other approach. I know a couple guys bring the guitar, put it out there, and never touch it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's kind of funny. It cracks me up every time when they just leave.
Yeah.
Or like a puppet. I know a guy that used to bring a puppet with him. I can't remember. This was a long time ago. You bring a puppet, set him up, whole deal, do a show, leave, no puppet. Just let the puppet sitting there at the stage.
yeah. I mean, that's funny. It's a, kind of a one jokey kind of,
Yeah, but it's like he never addresses it, which makes it funny.
No,
And
no,
then-
I get
then
the
you
whole
get it
irony of it
afterwards.
all.
Yeah, right.
There's times when I'm on stage, and I'm sure you've had this too. If something crowd work going wise, I'd lose track of time and I don't get to it.
Right.
So you're right. I mean, I could leave it just sit there, but I just I prefer to have it back there so people aren't thinking about it.
No, I do. But the closer, I got a 4.5 minute closer for the second adult show I do on this line, and I couldn't get to it today because I got into the crowd, so I'm using it tonight. So
Isn't
I'm
that
like,
great?
Yeah, I go good. Now I got a closer for the theater, and then it's the theater. I go, oh God, even better. I go, it's like my oldest closer. That's one of my strongest. And I go, well, I'll just close with that tonight.
Yeah, that you and I. This is kind of interesting, I guess, because just yesterday we found out our schedule is completely different today.
Yeah, that was.
Big time different. Because I had my whole 2 shows planned for today.
Yeah.
And then I just accidentally I found out, we're doing a theater show tomorrow. Wait,
Yeah.
what? So I had to rethink everything.
Dude, I'm so glad you knocked on my door because I was putting together the set list for the show right when you walked on the door last night. Because on a lot of lines, for those you don't know, a lot of lines, everybody has a different structure of shows.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you do 2 45-minute shows, 2 45 cleans, 1 45 clean.
Oh
2
yeah,
45
every
clean,
shoot,
You know,
every ship, every line is different. Yeah.
but this one is a lot of shows. It's 5 or 6 shows. This one's 6 shows for the week, and we had a schedule. And sometimes you have to be careful where the material goes because you're spreading it out. You want to do certain shows have to be different, etc.
Yeah.
So I thought that I was repeating tonight a show. So I go, well, then I'll repeat the first show, which is great because that's where my new stuff was. And I go, well, I'll do most of my new stuff. So I was all set and I had a set list. And you knock on the door, literally 5 minutes before I'm walking out of here.
Yeah.
Like, oh, theater
I
show.
figured you'd want to know.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh God, I can't do any that I wanted to do. I got to change everything, which wasn't hard.
Because you wanted to save that material for tomorrow night.
For more tonight, yeah.
I mean, tonight. Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, because then I figure I could do. I had still got some stuff I haven't done yet, but
Mm-hmm.
all of the new stuff I did in the first show I could do, and the stuff I didn't get to that's new I could do. So I was kind of excited. I was like, oh shit, I got 15 minutes to work to work that new stuff out.
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean?
it is nice that it's a split show, and that we're not doing.
That does make it easier.
Oh yeah, because sometimes when you do 2 full shows late at night, because it's late at night, especially
Right.
when we have port tomorrow. But I'm hoping we'll have a good crowd because I want to tape because I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna. It's funny because I have my powerhouse music stuff that I haven't even touched yet this week, and I was gonna do it. No, I wasn't gonna do it last night. I was gonna do it today. I was supposed to have a 7 and 9:30 show today, and I was gonna do the same show twice. Just because I was going to tape. This way I'd be taping with the same outfit on in case I wanted to edit together and make it look like one show.
Yeah, that's smart, right?
And then once I found out we have a theater show, I'm like, I just scrap that. I'm going to do a different show in there, and then I'm just going to do the 15 minutes of all the stuff I've been hanging on to. I'm glad I hung on to literally my favorite stuff, which
Right.
I'll do in the theater tonight. I
Oh,
haven't
good.
done it all week.
Hey, it reminds me, dude. If you want a couple of different angles, I can use a couple of my cameras and set them up in the theater.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
And another thing
man.
to do that I do, because I was thinking about taping my set, I get a real good angle in this theater, actually. And one thing that's cool is I have to double check with the board guys. If I give them a USB drive, I can pull, I don't know if you've ever done this with them, you can pull direct audio feed from the microphone.
You're kidding.
No, so when I get what I do is I take the audio feed, the microphone, take the cameras, and then I layer the sounds in, and then you mix the sounds together, so you get the crowd and you from the
Oh,
microphone.
that would be fantastic.
And then it pulls the echo out, and then you still hear the laughs. That's
Yeah,
what
I
turned out
just
really
have
good.
I have like a phone and I have a camera, which is not even the camera's not even that high quality.
Okay, yeah, dude, I got like 3 4K cameras with me. You can shoot a couple different angles. If you
Oh
want.
man, that'd be fantastic.
Of course,
dude.
and I got I use these. I don't have it here, but I don't know if you saw last night. It worked out great. I'll show you the angle where we're talking.
You recorded last night?
I did recorded both my shows last night, yeah. And they both came out great for the most part. But in the second show,
with these cameras that we're looking at right now, or different cameras?
no, they're my phone. I use my phone.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, and I have a Gorilla here. That's the angle of the phone.
Oh man, that looks great. Where did you set the camera up?
See, that's what I'm getting at. I have Gorilla tripods.
Yeah, the ones that you can just attach to anything.
Yeah, just so I attach it to the roof at the bar and clamp it so that it hangs from the top of the ceiling. I always hang it from the top of the ceiling somewhere.
Kidding.
And there's magnets on 2 of the tripods, so I can magnetize them in. And so it works great, unless for the second show last night, some guy stood right on the phone and talked the whole fucking show.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And it was the best show of the week, so I can't wait to see that one.
Isn't that how it always works?
Then I hear another guy going, so tomorrow we're going to go get lunch, and you're like, you fucking asshole.
I'm telling you, dude, trying to get the perfect tape is the hardest thing. I was on a different ship, different line than we're on right now. And, I've been trying to tape. I don't tape every single show because I always make an excuse not to, but I should anyhow. But I was doing it was a show without a comedy club, but I did a theater show early in the week, and then I did a completely different show in the sort of lounge kind of area, which held about, I'd say, 300.
Okay.
You know what I mean? With people all standing around. I wasn't sure how I was gonna,
right,
go, and because there was something going on in the theater simultaneously, but it was standing room only. Because I had a pretty good theater show. Wasn't my favorite, but I was like, the turnout was great for this other show. And it was just one of those sets where everything flowed. The crowd work, everything was perfect. And I went into the sound booth and I set my little camera up and I go, because I got to go backstage. I don't want to just leave it running. I go, hey, can you just hit the button to start it? He goes, yeah. He goes, I'll start it when you start, recording. I was perfect. One button.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Easy. Then I go do have my set. I'm like so happy. I'm like, God, I got this on tape. This is finally the one I can send to my agent. Everything's perfect. I go back there, open the door. I go, hey, man. And he goes, oh, I forgot to hit start. And dude, I swear to God, I didn't want to lose it on him. But I'm like, man, dude. I'm like, I get, no, not your fault. I should have handled this myself.
Yeah.
Don't ever rely on anybody.
Yeah, exactly. Glenn. I was talking to this about Glenn, how it's interesting. It goes right back to what you were saying about sketch groups, which was great to work with the sketch group. With all this, like even this show, I produce it myself. I put everything together myself. I travel myself. I do my stuff myself. And I guess I learned it from stand-up early on that the less people you depend on, the easier it is for you. Because you can't look at a guy that didn't press play and go, you ass.
No, I'm a do-it-yourselfer. I can't. In fact, after that sketch comedy group, the big lesson is, what they say comedians are. We're writer, directors, producers.
Right. And
after that sketch comedy, because I really thought that was it, that we're going. There was a lot of talented people in that group, but I also learned there's talent and there's showing up on time, ready to go. You know what I mean? And the work discipline.
Those 13 is a lot, man. It's just a lot of people.
Yeah, it was a lot of people, and it was a good time. It was a good bit. It was my first foray into showbiz, really.
Right.
And I'm still in contact with some of them. Some of them are still out working, doing things. One of them.
Where's the group at?
Well, the group was in L.A. Yeah.
Okay.
And
what's the name of the group? Can you mention it? Do you want to? Or
oh yeah, I mean it's no longer there, but the name of the group was Incognito.
Okay.
Yeah, we used to have a run at the West End Playhouse on Santa Monica.
Yeah,
right in Sweetser. And we got some write-ups in like LA Weekly and stuff like that. I mean, we had a really great group. It was a shame. It's I think about it right now. It's a shame because everybody was different. We all fit it. We did musical numbers. We did dance numbers in between. We had a director that had really good vision for that kind of stuff.
Right.
And like I said, it's just the work aspect of it all.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Plus people change. It's tough. Like, again, if you depend on other people in any way, shape, or form, it's just, there was a group out of Chicago years ago called Ectomorph. Did you ever see them or hear of them?
Nope.
It was the guy named Bart Hurd, Darren, I can't remember Darren's last name off the top of my head, really. Darren Bodecker, and Jim Copsian. And it was back in the 90s. And they were all over Chicago, but they did most of their stuff at I.O. They were unbelievable. I mean, it was just the three of them, and it was just this crazy offbeats, really. And they were getting a following. I thought they were going to go somewhere, and it was a great group.
What year would this have been?
This was I was in the 90s before I moved to LA the first time, I think. So this had to be, or no, the second time. Oh, this is when I was doing I.O. So this was the early 90s. I got married in 94. 94, 95. This is 92, 93, right around there.
Okay, yeah.
92, 93. Back then, the improv was still there, and there was a lot more. I was doing IO, and then I was writing and directing my own sketch groups with my wife at the time and other Second City people. So it was a huge Second City contingency and group of people. We all knew each other. But Ectomorph they were so original. They were amazing. If you can Google, find some of their stuff. But the point is, at some point, one of the guys, Jim, found religion and just left.
Oh, wow. I was saying, where is this going? What
like
happened?
out of the blue, just bailed. And I was like, what happened? I mean, they had managed. They were going to Montreal. They were great. The show would be packed to see them, and it was just the three of them, just weird, obscure sketch stuff that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really offbeat, and they were hilarious.
Yeah,
they were really funny, and then it just ended.
It's
weird,
done.
right? And then the guys didn't ever want to pick because it was three. They were such significant parts of the group. They're each a third of the group.
Yeah, once one's gone, the group's gone.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Topples.
It's just like when a lead singer leaves a band. Sometimes, you know what I mean.
Yep, you can try, but it's no longer what it was.
Yeah,
and
unless you're lucky, unless like Journey in Boston, where they find the guys on YouTube now. You know what I mean?
I saw Journey open for Def Leppard at the Hollywood Bowl with their singer that they found, and it was literally. I did a joke one time. I just saw live band karaoke. Oh wait, no, Journey. I mean, because it just wasn't. He's up there. What's up, Los Angeles? You know, It's like, dude, they found you on YouTube. Quit talking to us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, you kind of sound like him, but come on.
Right.
It just, I felt almost embarrassed to be like watching them.
He sounds a lot like.
He
him,
sounds maybe even better. I mean, because. He's got a great voice.
Well, Steve Perry lives by us. Have you seen him?
Dude, I used to wait tables on him.
Okay.
Do you remember how long you been in Sherman Oaks?
Oh God, since early 2000s. I think.
Okay. Why am I spacing on the name of the restaurant? Right on Woodman.
There's a place he goes to for breakfast all the time. I don't know the name of it, but a friend of mine.
Oh my God! I used to, it was my last waiter job.
But I live right by Woodman, so I know Woodman in the freeway or
no,
Ventura.
Ventura and Woodman-ish, but it's just a little bit west of Woodman. It's no longer there. Annie's grapefruit salad was the big salad. Okay. I'm spacing on the name of the restaurant, but it was. But Steve Perry used to come in there.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, "Hey, that's Steve Perry." And right next door is Dr. Dre's studio. So Dre used to come in all the time. It's a real nondescript building,
right?
Dre's studio. And I'd be like, "What's Dre doing here?"
Yeah,
and he goes, "His studio's right there."
I'm like,
yeah. He's come sit at the bar, real chill.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to meet Perry. I heard he's a great guy. Everybody says he talks about pancakes a lot. I know this.
And where do people see him? Or
I don't know the name of the place, but there's a breakfast place he goes to multiple times.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he goes a lot. And if you he lays low, he doesn't walk in, he doesn't make a big deal. But if you talk to him, he'll talk to you. And
is that right?
Yeah, he'll talk about music and stuff.
It's funny because I just stumbled upon his TikTok. And he's like he's like in a studio, kind of like this, just say, "Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
I just want to say the new Taylor Swift album, I really like, he's just talking like,
yeah.
All these years, just nobody knew where he was. And now he seems to be, I don't know, just.
Well, I read about the whole I heard about him leaving, the falling out, and then the lawsuit that band had. Journey's got a huge layer of
man,
history.
No kidding. Every time I hear about them, it's lawsuits and Neil Sean
and he was on the other end of it. So Sean was the guy that won, and Steve's voice isn't what he used to be.
No,
his last album was he purposely didn't use anything to what do they call it, the
auto tunes and all that.
Yeah, he just came out and sang his regular voice.
Nobody wants to hear him auto tune.
Yeah, nobody wants to. Yeah, no. Well, you hear auto tune. I don't know anything about music, but I know when people are auto tuned. I think
there's a sort of a robot-y kind of like CGI-ish. When you see CGI, yeah, it looks great, but you're watching CGI. I like watching old movies where they had to create that. You know what I mean? They had to do that without CGI. Because it makes it more fascinating. How did they create that effect?
Well, dude, yeah, all those, or even not just CGI too, is like music. I love music from like the 30s and the 40s.
Absolutely.
When it was four guys in a room around a microphone.
Yeah.
There were no tracks. There was one track.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, I'm like, man, that's really. There was no mixing back then. You know what I mean?
You go back and look at entertainers, from back then. it's astounding how...
That was raw talent.
Yeah, I just watched a documentary last night. Because I remember I went to bed early last night.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary. I download documentaries on my computer. Right. And a lot of them are just from YouTube, by the way, free. And I download them on my computer and just watch them when I'm offline. And I just watched one on Cab Calloway last night.
Oh, no way.
And they showed some of his dance moves and stuff. And you're like, whoa. And then they spliced that together with later... Not stolen, but influenced, and it was like very Michael Jackson at the height of Michael Jackson.
Sure.
Very similar.
Yeah.
You know,
We don't realize how influential all that early stuff is.
Man, no
and what's going on
kidding.
now. And there's tons of times I hear a song that's a remake and you don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
And then you figure it out, like, oh, like Elvis and the Stones, they've stole tons of stuff from old black artists.
Well, I mean, even the Beatles acknowledge. In fact, it's funny. I just watched. I don't know where I found this out. I'm kind of a Beatles scholar. I've read a lot of books about the Beatles, but they begged, borrowed, and stole from everybody. The Come Together. John Lennon came in and he goes, Paul, I've got a new song. It's Come Together. He goes, here come old flat top. She come grooving up slowly. There's a line in a Chuck Berry song. Literally, the line is, "Here come old flat top. He come grooving up, and then not slowly, but something else, but flat top."
Right.
And Paul goes, "John, you're stealing that from
Chuck Berry."
From Chuck Berry. He goes, "Yeah, but it's awesome. It's a great song. It was Come Together. The song Come Together. They kept it, but
Dude, my brother Scott, who's crazy about this shit. He swore off Led Zeppelin. He hates them. He read an article once about the list of all the bands that stole and what they stole and who influenced what.
Yeah.
And honestly, more bands have stolen stuff than you know.
Oh, that big borrowed still.
Yeah.
From each other. Yeah.
But Zeppelin went through the whole Stairway thing.
I listened to it, and they stole it.
Yeah, it was when I heard. I wanted to not believe it because I'm a huge Zeppelin fan. And by the way, that's not the only song that they stole. There's other stuff.
Oh, I've heard their first couple albums. I'm just saying I never was. I appreciate the music. I never got into them.
Oh, really?
I'm generally not a blues based kind of.
Oh, I am. I loved Zeppelin. It crushed me.
No,
the Stairway thing. I went, okay. And then there was two of the blues. Babe, I'm going to leave you, and most of the blues stuff was taken from old blues bands. And you hear that, and you're just like, oh man, that's really depressing.
Yeah, it's a little bit,
Yeah.
You hate the. And I will say that being a Beatles fan, that's why they're amazing to me for four guys that age who were influenced by Elvis, Little Richard, but said, no, we want to write our own songs.
Right.
We want to, and then Paul, I listened to an article or listened to an interview with Paul McCartney even just a couple days ago. He said that's one of the reasons they really like Buddy Holly. Because unlike Elvis, Buddy Holly wrote his own songs.
Right.
And he played lead guitar in his songs,
Yeah.
And I feel like if Buddy Holly hadn't died, 22, that guy would have been...
He could have been huge, dude.
No, I mean, he may be the biggest of all time before the Beatles, other than the Beatles. Because, I mean, 22. And he was writing songs, playing lead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was so far ahead of the game that it's almost astounding.
Did you ever see the Beatles show that they do over there on Norwegian? We were talking about it.
I've met many of the band members on there.
Okay.
I go watch that every single time.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's good. It's great.
Yeah.
Do you forget? I can't believe how many hits they had. You're blown away when you're like, oh my god, that's.
Yeah, the coolest thing that for those of you who don't know, on certain cruise line, we'll say, since we already said it, Norwegian, they have specifically that particular line has a Beatles covers bands, and they dress up and they go through the years as the Beatles. So anyhow, one time we were on the ship and down in the crew bar, which is where just the crew can go, generally late at night after they're done working, and the Beatles cover band set up to do a concert for everybody.
Oh, get out of here!
And I was like, and I went down there and their full on uniforms. And I remember standing there, and they're
that's really cool.
And I'm like, I remember because I'm a diehard Beatle fan, so I know every song, even like the obscure ones. But I'm looking around, all these people. You're in a crew bar, people from all over the world, all different world.
Yeah.
Filipinos, you got a Romanian over here, you got whatever. And I'm just looking at everybody singing along.
Yeah,
singing along like joyously, going, "This is why the Beatles are the greatest band of all time. This is the only band where this happens."
Yeah, right. Everybody knows the songs.
Completely universal, every single song.
Did you ever hear the Paul McCartney story being in the writers' room at SNL?
I don't think so.
All right, this is a really good story. They were, I can't remember who told. I think Jim Brewer tells the story, or David Spade told it. They're in the writers' room. The writers are writing, and they're working on the show. And Paul McCartney's on the show that week, and he just walks in. He just walks into the room, and the guy's like, "Oh, fuck, Paul McCartney's here." He's like, "Hey boys, how are you?" He's, "Oh, we're good, Paul. It's good to see you." And he kind of just mucking around. He's just sticking around. So he sits in front of a piano, right? And he starts playing "Let It Be." Just starts playing. He's just playing.
Sounds like a Paul thing to do.
Yeah, right. Because he's kind of one of those weird, obscure guys that pops in.
Yeah.
I've never ever met him. I would love to, but I've heard nothing but amazing. People have met him. He was the greatest.
Yeah, it seems very unaffected.
So he's playing "Let It Be, Let It Be," and the guys are sitting there writing. I can't believe this. This is the coolest moment of my life, maybe. And at the time, Al Franken was the head writer of SNL, and his office is next door. And he kicks open the door. He goes, "Stop playing that fucking piano! I'm trying to fucking write in here," and slams the door. And Paul just gets up and leaves.
Oh my
And
God!
Brenner's
You're
just
kidding. That's a very bizarre situation, the whole thing. Just Paul sitting there. Guys,
Yeah, right? Very
trying to write here,
surreal.
Paul.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. I saw him in concert years ago, and I remember thinking, obviously this is at the Forum, I think, or maybe the
God, I've never
Staples.
seen Paul. I would love to see
Staples.
Paul.
Yeah, and it was like, well, I'm like, wow, I'm in the building with literally the most famous person on planet Earth.
Yeah, yeah.
He was one of the Beatles, and not only one of the Beatles, one of the two Beatles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And there's Ringo and George, and I love them both, but there's John and Paul, and
Yeah.
that's
Well, George is an amazing guitarist, though.
Yeah, well, he was,
for a
and he turned out
while.
to be a fantastic songwriter too. It just took him a
Right.
little while,
Right, right.
longer and stuff like that.
Did you see? I saw Billy Joel at the Forum. You ever seen Billy Joel?
He's one. He may be the #1 artist that I've never seen live.
Okay, I got. All right, I can say this now because this won't air till after Christmas. I bought my daughter's tickets to go see Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks for Christmas in Orange County next year. And the reason I did was my daughter and I went and saw Billy Joel in the Garden right before 2020, which was if you ever get a chance to see him in the Garden.
Well, that's what I was going to say. In the Garden, in his home.
Dude, it's a residency, and it's every bit of a residency where all the crowd knows each other almost, and they're there and they're hanging, and he kind of messes with the crowd. He'll tell a joke, he'll start a song, and they go, "Nah, I'm not going to do that one." And they'll go, "Whoa!" And he was like, "Shut up." He goes, "Come next week, and he'll play a song."
Incredible.
So he jokes with, he's funny. You know what I mean? It's like a barroom show in the Garden. It's just, it's unbelievable.
There's a video of him backstage getting ready to go off for his closer with Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney's going to be a special guest.
Oh,
you know
see,
what I mean?
he always had Bon Jovi was ours the night we were there.
Ah, dude, really?
Yeah, but I would have killed to see Paul McCartney.
Yeah, especially
on stage.
unannounced.
Yeah,
you know
dude,
what I
are
mean?
you kidding
Oh
me?
my God!
You're like, who's it gonna be? Like, it's Bon Jovi. I'm like, oh, okay, that's great, I guess.
Speaking of stealing and the Beatles and George Harrison, back when the Beatles formed Apple Records,
Yeah.
which by the way, I was just in London a month and a half ago, and I went to Savile Row, 3 Savile Row, where the rooftop concert was, where Apple Records was.
Oh no, wait, did you really?
I
Oh,
was
that's
right
cool.
there in the middle. It's it's a 3-story building, but the first floor is an Abercrombie and Fitch now. I'm like, oh, this is
that
so
hurts. That kinda hurt
disappointing,
your
man.
stomach.
Oh yeah, good lord. But anyway, I couldn't believe I was right there. Having seen all these videos and stuff. And but when they formed Apple Records, they wanted to be producers and get new artists. One of the new artists who came in and auditioned for him was James Taylor, unknown. He was an unknown artist, and he's played for. It was just Paul and George Harrison in the room. He brought his acoustic guitar and he played "Something in the Way She Moves, Looks My Way or Calls My Name."
Yeah.
I feel fine anytime
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
around me. Anyhow, James Taylor plays that song. They
Right.
signed him. George Harrison heard that line, "Something in the Way She Moves,"
Yeah.
stole it.
Right. Yeah.
Something in the way
and then
she moves, and James Taylor talks about it. He goes, yeah. He goes. I guess he sort of told me, but he goes, I sort of took the line, "I feel fine anytime she's around me." I got the line, "I feel fine" from their song, "I feel fine. I'm in love with her and I feel fine." So he goes,
right, yeah,
I kind
right.
of stole that from them, so it all works out.
That washes out, I guess.
So anyhow, I told that little story on TikTok, on a TikTok video. This is one of those when I was back in that basement at my girlfriend's house in Cleveland during the pandemic. I was just doing a lot of Beatles stuff. I play a song, I tell a little story about the song, then I play a cover of it, a short cover of it.
Right.
I told that story, and then I played a little bit of I feel of the James Taylor song,
Right.
and then I posted it on Instagram, and James Taylor liked it, and then he followed me.
Oh, right on.
So James Taylor follows me on Instagram. Isn't
That's
that crazy?
cool, dude. That's the greatest story ever. That's very
isn't
cool.
I'm like, is that the James Taylor?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's very cool, dude.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Dude, that's because my ex-wife just sent me an email the other day. I guess Gerard Butler follows her on Instagram.
Your ex-wife?
Yeah, my ex-wife.
Well, what does she do that she's posting?
I don't know.
Just like
I don't know.
okay. I didn't know she was like an
anything.
artist or something like that.
I'm like, how did that happen? I don't know what she did or said, but apparently he's following her.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know. And I think it's him. You never know, but I'm pretty sure.
I mean, if it's the blue check verified, then that's
yeah, it's blue check verified.
And
so
then
it's gotta
that's
be him.
gotta
Although
be-
that was a thing before. Well, for Twitter, it's changing, but it's not changing for Instagram.
yeah,
right.
yeah. I mean, not to mention, I don't know who would create a fake account for Gerard Butler.
Yeah,
but, you know.
people create that crap.
No, I know.
Do you have blue check on?
I don't.
Okay, because I don't. I've been trying. I know some people that told me how to do it, and I keep trying, and it's not working. But you have a lot of TikTok stuff. What did you do on TikTok during COVID? Is that when that took off for you, or?
Yeah, it's weird. I just started going, let me just post. I just went on there, kind of late in the game too, and I saw some people, and you know, I wasn't performing a lot, so I wasn't videotaping and have a bunch of stand-ups put up. But you know, I would play like I started off like posting some funny little silly stuff, and then I just started posting like these covers. And then finally, I came up with the idea. I go, well, you know, I'll just tell a little story about a Beatles song because I know a lot about the Beatles, and then I'll play a little bit of it. And then I started getting all of a sudden like, whoa, 3,000 followers in like a day. And I'm like, wow, I kept going. Then people were doing duets with me. And then I started getting into just going, let me try. And I go, I'm going to run out of Beatles songs, you know, you know. So I started doing this
I
thing.
know you can run out of Beatles songs.
Yeah, I know, but eventually there is a finite number. And I started doing this thing where I would just post like old songs from my past that are kind of forgotten classics that I happen to love, not just Beatles, but anything. And 60s, 70s, 80s. And I go, hey, you guys remember this song here? I play a little bit. I go, what, do you guys know the name of it? If you do, put it in the comments. And couple of those videos have gotten over 1 million hits.
Wow.
One video.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, and it blows me away. Like, and I'm getting like 3,000 comments and, you know, 23,000 likes and stuff like that.
That's huge. That's great.
Yeah. So and then you post another video and it gets 4,000 likes. I mean, 4,000 views. So it's what I'm trying to say is just staying consistent and on the game is how you do it. And but you can't on the ships. Because you cannot post TikTok videos on ships. I probably should learn how to get. I think they have ones where you could set up where they post for you, in time. But then you're not there to comment or respond to comments and stuff.
Yeah, that's hard too. Because then you've got another thing you're supposed to do is I try to comment on everything.
Yeah, you stay on top of it. Try to engage a little bit. Do you know who Josh Nasser is by any chance?
No, I know the name.
Comedian in L.A. And not like he hangs out around. I've known him for a while. Never really real big time. He made it a goal last January. I think it was literally last January. He said he made himself a goal. He wanted to have 1 million views on TikTok or something like that there. Long story short, he does his thing where he's in his car and he looks over at people and he just comments, but he makes a joke about it. Like it's all upbeat. It's not like making fun of people.
Right.
And then he kind of laughs and drives off. It's real short. I think he's up to over 1 billion views.
Seriously?
Yeah. And I think like 30 million followers. And now he's verified cross platforms like he TikTok monsters, huge. And then now he's got like a huge following on Instagram where he didn't for years. And now he's very now he's on YouTube. He's just said, he goes, I made it my point to. I was talking to him. I had a little party at his place, I think for July 4th, I think, and I go, dude, congrats. And he goes, yeah, man. I just made it my goal.
Yeah.
I wanted to focus on this. And now he's obviously treating it as big. He goes, I want to use this to build up a fan base so I can tour as a comedian.
Right.
I go, brilliant.
Right.
Absolute brilliant.
Good for him, man.
Yeah. But anyhow, he was one of the inspirations for me to get rolling with TikTok. I went on there and I saw a couple comedians I knew, and they're not like known comedians at all. And I'm like, whoa, this person's got 40,000 followers. Right. And I go, oh, just because they're posting and they're being engaged, you got to get on this, know? Right. And so that was the impetus for me to just start posting.
Well, that's good, dude. I spent most of this year trying to work because I put that on YouTube at least once a week.
That's how you got to.
I do this show once a week, and then I do multiple stuff. But this year, I'm restructuring. Like, I try to shoot as many shows as I can, and I just came up with a new plan of attack for TikTok and Instagram and everything to just get content up, stand-up content up maybe 3 to 4 times a week, plus the shows. Yeah. And I think I got it figured out. It took me most of this year because, like, during COVID, I did stuff just to stay creative, right?
Yeah, that's exactly how I was.
And then this year, I kind of did it to learn how to morph it all with the traveling. Like, traveling on ships is a totally different animal.
100%.
Right, which we kind of talked about. So, So now and this year I also upgraded my stuff. I'm on Final Cut Pro. You got Mac. I got all this other stuff. So my videos are edited that way, and I shoot through that. And so I upgraded stuff. I studied. So this year, I think I got a good idea how to do it. The only thing is, it's a lot of time.
Oh, man, no kidding.
So when I'm sitting in an airport now, I used to sit in an airport and watch a show or something. I got 40 minutes. I can edit like 3 videos real quick and just save them, and then go, well, this will go up Thursday. I'll put this one up Monday. I'll put this one up, whatever.
Yeah, it's a nonstop,
Yeah, you're constantly doing it.
And when you're trying to create content, like, it's tougher because, I hate to say it, but a lot of these people come on there and they lip sync. Yeah. And they just stand there and they dance. I mean, it's a lot easier to create content doing that.
Yeah. And one thing too, I don't like to do, I try to stay away from, is I don't like doing videos or shots of other people who don't know that they're in the video. You know what I mean? Like making fun of someone in an airport, or look at this guy, or look at this person.
It's not my thing, and either.
Yeah, I try to stay away from that. So I don't think it's right. I just don't think that's right. I know that people do it, and I'm like, I get it.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I'm not part. Yeah, the prank video. Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, or even especially if they don't know. Like,
innocent.
There's a great video of this guy. I can't remember his name. This guy. They made fun of him. You know what? It's a really sad video of him at a nightclub dancing or a wedding, and he's dancing. And they're videotaping him, and somebody makes fun of him, and he sees him taping, and he stops. He gets all nervous and upset.
Oh, that's no.
And then someone shared it and kind of took a shot at the guy doing the video, and then reached out. And then the guy reached out to the guy, and the guy responded. And then he ended up on another TikTok in another TV show. And you know what happened? Well, here's a bunch of dancers and cheerleaders, and I mean, models and stuff had a big party and invited him, and he was the only guy, and they all danced with him, and it was just this really lovely, nice.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of great stuff out there.
Yeah,
a lot of creative people.
And he looked so fucking happy. You know, he was just because
he's a celebrity now to a degree.
Yeah, but the look of the look of pain on his face when he got caught dancing.
Embarrassment and shame, and
it was horrible.
Yeah, you don't need that.
And I just don't think that's cool. But the second thing that came after that was so cool.
Yeah, no, I mean the guy with the videotape himself skateboarding to work, with Dreams from Fleetwood Mac playing. Do you know that one?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Here I go again. He just his truck broke down.
Yeah,
and he was was an older guy, not even like a young dude, and he just videotaped himself on a skateboard drinking. He was, holding his cranberry juice and just videotaped himself with his phone, and it was lip singing to Dreams by Fleetwood Mac.
Right.
That's it. Just as he was skateboarding to work, and somehow it got viral, and people were doing. Stevie Nicks commented on it, and she did like her own version of it. And stuff.
No,
really? And now he's a big star. He's verified and he did a commercial. I think a Super Bowl commercial and everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think he talked about how his truck broke down. I think it was a Nissan, and Nissan gave him a new truck. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying, this is all the power of TikTok. There's a lot of really, and I do notice, and I think it's smart. A lot of comics post their crowd work.
Yeah,
it's a little bit tiring, you know what I mean? But some of them are really good at it. Sam Morril, if you know him, his crowd work is just so good. I mean, he's a great comic, period, but his crowd work is even just fantastic.
Right,
and that way you're not burning material.
Yeah, I thought like Jimmy and I were talking. Jimmy Schubert and I were talking about this last week because Jimmy shows material. In fact, I taped 2 of his shows last week.
Oh, nice.
And
in Vegas,
yeah, and the one came out great. I was really happy with it.
Yeah.
But there's a second end of that too, and I talked to my brother about this, who's also a comic, because with everybody showing crowd work, sometimes it's people having one or 2 good moments, and they get a big laugh. And they're not a strong comic. They can do 40 minutes. But I think the effect it's having in the long run is that crowds are being more vocal now because they're watching this on YouTube. They're watching this, so they feel like they can be...
It certainly could be an effect.
Right. So for a while, I wasn't doing crowd work because I think this is making business an issue. And then as time went by, and it's almost like when I joined Ships, you gotta shit or get out the pot. Like if you're gonna be in the business changes and morphs. It's kind of like when radio went from TV. Like I didn't want crowd work on there because I'm like, I don't want everybody to think that all comedy shows are crowd work. I like them to respect material still.
Absolutely.
But you gotta play the game, otherwise you're gonna disappear. So you know what I mean. So now you have to do it.
If it's good crowd work and it works, I'm not opposed to putting that up. I just know some comics that's all they put up, and it's not exactly good crowd work.
Right. It's not.
You know what I mean?
No, it's
I'm like, okay, and it's So I mean, whatever works for somebody else. I like having that in my pocket.
Yeah.
But I don't go out there specifically. So just to launch into that. I do it to set up jokes. I was talking to somebody, I use it to set up another joke I have coming, and it's a good way to burn a little bit of material, and not to save a little material, burn a little time, and engage. You have to engage the crowd. Crowd likes it, but I don't want to I don't go out there setting up to make this whole set a crowd work set.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, on Shift, you almost have to do it. Well, 2 things. Wait, one, on Shift, you almost have to do it because after a few shows, they know you. Everybody knows each other.
No, exactly. It certainly helps.
Yeah,
it certainly helps to have that. It's like that's why it's a nice piece to have in my pocket.
Right, and the more you do it, obviously the better. Some guys are bad at it, but the more you do it, the better you're at it. Yeah. And my brother had mentioned to me, there's a lot of agencies now they're telling their comics, you got to have crowd work videos because they get more hits, they get more likes, they get more follows. They encourage their comics to do material. And because when I started out, I remember there were Fred Wolf, other guys I worked with that were comics. There weren't crowd guys. Or John, who's the guy, he's a producer now. He's a huge producer. I can't remember. I always see his name on TV. He was on Cheers and stuff. But I took improv class with him, and he hated stand-up, but he wrote. And he wrote great jokes, but he hated performing. But he only performed jokes. So when the crowd would talk to him, he would be uncomfortable.
That sounds like Larry David.
Yeah. Larry David was kind of like, he was exactly like that, right? Yeah, and literally
let me tell my jokes.
He would get mad, and then he'd get mad at the crowd, and right. But he was a great writer. A lot of stuff he did was really out there and weird and obscure.
It is. It's when I used to sit in the back of the Comedy Store, back when I used to watch John Campanera, there was a guy, old school cat, John Mulrooney. You ever heard the name?
I know John. John did shifts for a while.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, he was on this line. I worked with him a bunch of times.
Oh, did you? Okay. And I just thought he would go up there and just write it, hey, how you guys doing? What that? I'm in the original room at the Comedy Store. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is got guts.
Yeah.
To just go talk to a table and,
he's a machine. He used to be a cop.
Did he really?
Actually, he is a cop. Yeah, when last time I worked with him, he was a sheriff. He's a sheriff in Jersey somewhere when he goes home.
Is that right?
Yeah,
I'll be darned.
I don't know if he does shifts anymore. I saw his name somewhere, but I worked with him a bunch of times on shifts.
But he was the impetus for me to go, I'm going to try this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just try to talk, and it gave me a lot of confidence because when it started going, when I realized I could do it, not like him.
Yeah.
But I also wouldn't try to do it like him. I would just, if a noise happened, okay, what's happening over here?
Yeah.
I wasn't afraid to do that.
Yeah.
It allowed me to get off my script,
right.
and it was watching him.
Yeah.
And now I'm glad I have that ability. You know what I mean? And plus, it just for audiences, it makes you real. They're there with you. It's
Dude, I love to hear that aspect of it because John Mulrooney's a guy who he had a deal at Fox for a while, and he was doing a Fox thing for a while. And but a lot of times you guys, like, for me it was Carl LeBeau, there's a lot, but a guy like John Mulroney, who wasn't necessarily a household name, Carl LeBeau wasn't necessarily a household name. I saw Louis Anderson, who was, I saw Sam Kinison, who was, but Carl opened for him. But a guy like Carl is the one that made me go, I think I can do that. And I think it was the point of, I was amazed. I'm like, how does not everybody know who this guy is?
Yeah,
Why wouldn't everybody
amazing?
How great this guy is? And then I go, maybe I could get up there and try it. You know what I mean? Not that it seems like a weird motivation that I saw a guy that's not famous and I wanted to do what he was doing. You know what I mean? But it somehow made it real to me where I can go, I think I could get on stage and give this a shot. You know?
It's surprising who influences you or why, or you don't have to be anything like them. They just kind of, their energy or something about them.
Right.
But I still remember sitting in the back going, oh my God. I was really new to stand-up, at all. I couldn't even believe I was in a stand-up comedy club, and so I hadn't really seen many, but the way he would go up there with just, right into the crowd and fearless.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this is awesome.
Well, Cap was like that too. If you saw Campanera, man, he was.
I didn't see him I don't remember him doing a lot of crowd. He would just go up there because honestly, I think Mulrooney kind of went there. That was his thing.
Right.
I didn't know it at the time.
Right.
It didn't dawn on me that he's, just basically not doing, is his act.
Right.
Campanera,
right, yeah.
Campanera would go up there, into his bits. He was crushing so hard he didn't really sort of need crowd work.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I know he can do it,
He used to have a great joke he did on the cruise ship. He's such a good performer too.
Oh,
he's a great performer.
Yeah.
So he had a thing he would do in a cruise ship, and in the family show, going to be a kid in the front row, and he'd go, "Hey kid, what's your name?" He'd go, "Tommy, where are you from?" He goes, "I'm from Cleveland." He goes, "Get out of here." He goes, "No, really, Cleveland." He goes, "No, really, kid, get out of here, leave, go." And it was so off guard that the kid would get up and leave. He goes, "I'm messing with you. Sit down." And it was just the delivery was so smooth.
It's Cap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
the guy gets away with anything he wants.
Yeah, I love that guy. He's really funny. We'll tape the show tonight, dude. Dude, thanks for coming. I think we're gonna wrap. Oh crap, we're almost in an hour. That was quick.
It does. It flies by, doesn't it?
Yeah, dude. I can't thank you enough for doing this. I'm glad this worked out. I'm glad you live next door. What the fuck are you gonna do?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Before we get out of here, bro, what's to the camera? What do you want to plug socials wise?
Yeah,
anything?
social media. Everything is Johnnie Cardinale, JOHNNY, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. I don't know when this is going to air, but I am at the Funny Stop in Cuyahoga Falls, February 10th and 11th. in Ohio, my hometown. And Tammy Pescatelli's there this weekend if you want to go see her. I don't know when this is going to air. So
I don't know. I was going to put it up next week.
Okay, yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's great for me. For February 10th and 11th, if anybody's watching Cuyahoga Falls, funny stop.
Okay.
I'll be there. Otherwise, catch me on Chips.
All right. Cool. There, we're out. That's good, man. Thanks,
Cool.
thanks, Johnny. I'll see you tonight.
It's awesome, man. Can I see one of your gorilla tripod things?
Yeah. Give me a second.